Um, Stand Around and Watch is kind of like the weird bar club scene with the strange version of a popular song being done, and the next song, the Vanity song, the way I recorded it and the way I placed it on the record was inspired by, believe it or not, a zombie movie that I did, or kind of did. It's a long story for another time, but it's called Zombie Party, and I played a musician, a singer at a party who sings a song that sounds innocuous and safe and typical Elvis-like rockabilly, but it's really very violent in nature, the content. It was about a guy who sets his wife on fire after he catches her cheating, and I wrote it for the film, and then at the end of the song I slay my audience for real. I start, taking my guitar that has like a axe at the end of it, get it? You take your axe, which is your guitar, but it's really an axe, and I'd swing it, and I killed everybody in the audience. I killed them at that show. It was really funny. It was a really funny idea, and I had the Vanity song, and the Vanity song's from Isaiah, and it's about God's people giving themselves over to the culture and just pleasing themselves and the judgment that's going to come on them for their vanity. But I recorded it like I was that guy at that weird bar that Stand Around and Watch was in the background at, and I come out with just my guitar and sing this song, and musically it sounds safe and innocuous, but at the heart of it is something very radical and violent, and I slay them with my prophecy of doom, and it just seems like I play several significant but surreal characters throughout Zombies, and this was the prophet, and the Vanity song has just been one of my favorites. I performed it during Zombies a cappella because it was impossible to reproduce live the way it was, and then I later put it on Leading Horses, and I still do. I love doing it. I'm considering adding it to Hey Lucifer next year when I record that. I'm very attached to the song. I wrote it a very long time ago, and I've always included it in stuff that I did because I think it says so much about the human condition and what God thinks of it. And the next song, Give Me Jesus, came together in a very strange way. Weston came to me and said, have you heard this song? And I go, what song? He goes, have you heard Give Me Jesus? And I go, I'm not familiar with it. And he brought up a Christian artist that had recorded it, and I hadn't heard of that guy, but it turned out, it was a really old spiritual that, in other words, authored by traditional, which means it's free. And I hadn't selected a song for the record yet. This was going to be one of my only records that didn't have an old song on it. And he played it for me, and I didn't like it, But I liked the words. When I read the words, and it was like, when I come to mourn, give me Jesus. I was like, wow, that's dark stuff. So I said, why don't we just do something in the studio? Let's just make something up in the studio and put it on the record. So I found a drum sample that I liked, and I looped it, and then I found other stuff, and I looped that, and I added that, and then I just kind of said the words just wherever, and then we kind of added other vocals to it and came together, and turned out really cool. I love Give Me Jesus. It's funny because it's one of the only songs on any of my records I don't know the words to, because I never really learned them. We just did it in the studio. It just happened in the studio, and turned out mighty nice, I might say. And of course, there's Zombies. The big song on the record, really long, really thorough. It says everything I wanted the whole record to say at one time, and that's the part of the record where there's this big culminating attack of the zombies right after someone saying, "Give me Jesus when I come to die, when I come to mourn, you know, when they lay me down, give me Jesus." You know, it was like, it's like the guy knew that the apocalypse was coming, that the zombies were going to finally destroy the world, that the bad Christians were going to ruin it for everybody, and then zombies happens. And I think the heart of the song is when I say, "Are you going to turn your back on me?" Yeah, because in the end, isn't that what happens? Isn't that what happens to our Christian friends who don't support us, who don't believe in us, who don't like what we've turned into, who don't like our new fashion choices? They just turn their backs on us. I mean, isn't that the time to swoop down and even become a better friend and a stronger support when you get scared of how someone's turning out? I'm filming this in Valencia, California, because I'm here for a show tomorrow night, and the person who is hosting my performance is the woman who led me to the Lord, and we were talking today, and she said, "You know, I've had some concerns about some of the directions you've gone in." And you know, she even came to me afterwards and said, "You know, I hope I wasn't offensive that I brought that up to you." And the thing that stuck out in my mind was she waited till she was supporting me. She waited till she provided me a venue. She still let me come out. She still let me invite all my weird friends. She still invited her weird friends. So yes, she had concerns, but they did not override her call to support me and to be there for me. And her trust in God in me, that no matter what direction I took, that I was anchored in Him. And when you look at it and look at what kind of person I am and how strange it is that I even became a Christian, you step back and go, what kind of person is it that would lead this guy to the Lord? And the answer is someone who follows through on what Jesus wants us to do, more than just reacting to their own feelings and perceptions. That's called love. And it's called ministry. And I think that zombies separates the sheep from the goats, you know, that it says you can say you're a Christian, but you know, what kind of person are you, and how do you treat people you don't understand? How do you treat people you don't like? How do you treat people that are different than you ever want your kids to turn out? My gosh, how many times have people said to me in this life, "I would never want my kids to turn out like you." The fact that there's anyone on planet Earth that has ever had that said to them is outrageous. The fact that it's someone who has given up everything to follow Jesus as He's commanded is an abomination. And the last song on the record was "Two." Gosh, I sang it to my first wife at our wedding. It's cursed. I recorded it earlier. The version on zombies I recorded a year or so earlier for a friend of mine's wedding, because I sang it at a friend of mine's wedding. They were cursed. They're still married though, but I think that's funny. And Larry Jensen recorded it for his record. And I see "Two" as the song that has nothing to do with anything that's gone on in the movie. You've just watched everybody get killed by zombies. Everybody's been destroyed. And then all of a sudden during the end credits, this beautiful song comes on that means nothing, and then it hits you. The reason it means nothing is because they're all dead. They're all gone. They're not there for each other. There's not two of them to love each other. There's not two brothers to help each other up. There's nothing left because the zombies have destroyed everything. And it's funny because I would sing "Two" in concert and everyone loved it. The ladies just loved it. And I sat there and I went, the song sucks because nobody gets that it's pointing out a fantasy. It comes directly from Ecclesiastes, but it's pointing out a fantasy. You know, where are the two that are together? Where are the two that love each other? Where are the two that help each other up? Where are the two that pull each other out of a ditch? Where are the two that land on each other when they fall? That's not modern Christianity. I don't see that anywhere. Of course there's some people, but it sure is pretty though.